Tonight and good afternoon, everybody. It is, oh my God, I can't read. I've got my phone or my watch set on Michigan time. It is, I don't know, 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Must be 3 in the afternoon. Today was surgery day, if you can't already tell that. So I went to Dr. Sinek in Istanbul, Turkey. And I'll just talk to you a little bit about my day, what happened, how it went. First of all, I was incredibly nervous. I thought I was going to puke this morning, to be honest with you. I don't do well with that kind of thing. But very first thing I did, I got up quite early and had a relatively large breakfast per their instructions. I wore a button-up shirt, as you're supposed to, and had to pick up at 8 in the morning here in Istanbul at the hotel. It's the Point Hotel. It's pretty centrally located. It's comfortable. I mean, there's not a pool, but it's comfortable. So after the pickup, they took our passports, took pictures of the passports, and we ended up going to get blood work. Actually, not blood work. We had the blood work earlier in the week when we arrived here. We got here. Sorry, I'm not supposed to bend my head down, so it's really weird. We got here last Monday, or maybe, this Monday. So I probably got a little bit of Valium in my system yet. So got here on Monday, and we've toured the city for the last week, basically, and it's a beautiful, beautiful city. So much history. It's so gorgeous here. And today was the day. So we did the blood the night we flew in, so Monday night. The HIV, the whatever PCR, or the COVID test, I'm sure, is all running there too. So we did that, and then we got to the hospital today. They put in a little cannula, blood stick thing, so they could collect the PHP later, and then they ran some antibiotics during a certain part of the surgery. It wasn't the whole thing, it was just for a bit. So they put the thing in, and then they took us up another set of stairs to go to somewhere. We went somewhere. Oh, our consultation with Dr. Sinek. With that said, I went with my friend Nelly, who's also having the surgery. He's not quite back yet. I had FUE surgery. He had DHI. So DHI is direct hair implantation. They don't have to shave your head. As you can see, I'm bald than I was when I started this process. So a DHI pen does a direct implant in the hair, so they don't have to shave. I had FUE, which is basically follicular unit extraction, something like that. I don't know. Anyway, they poke holes and pull out the hair and put it in after they poked another set of holes. So we both met with the doctor at the same time. I went first, and I sort of showed him some photos. He wanted to see the photos of myself when I was younger, before my hairline was less of a hairline. We had a little talk. He answered any questions. It didn't feel rushed. A lot of people say it felt rushed. And maybe it was because I was with my friends, so there was 2 of us. It was a bigger time slot. We seemed to be the last to go out of the group. There may have been 6 other people in the waiting room. But yeah, he answered our questions. He took his time. He drew my hairline on, and I was happy with what he did, so I ran with it. He's the expert. After that, we went up to the photo shoot area where we had our photos taken to show where our hair was. Then directly from there, we went to the office to make a payment and sign consent forms. It's a surgery, so you have to do all of those fun things. After the consent forms were done, it was, for me, direct to the barber, where they took my pretty grown-out hair, which I used to sort of sweep over the balding bits, as most men with longer hair do. And he shaved it straight off, which made me a little sad, and that was probably the moment I was like, oh yeah, this is real. It wasn't even paying the money. It was the fact that he shaved my head with a zero guard. That definitely put things into perspective for me. So from there, they were going to shave a small portion of Nellie's head. I didn't stay around for that, my friend Nellie. I was taken basically directly to the operation room. I went to the bathroom first and went to the operating room, and we're in a country that is not our own native language, so most of the techs, if not all of the techs, spoke native Turkish and very little English, but they knew the words that they needed to know: pain or sit or and I took a few weeks of Turkish lessons, so I knew enough to get by. So that was helpful, I thought, to kind of understand in some capacity what they were saying. I didn't understand every word, but I understood a lot. So they had me sit down. They took my blood pressure. They'd already done an ECG or EKG prior in the week. So after they took my blood pressure, basically they had me take off my shirt, put me in a hospital gown, and the fun kind of began. I laid down on the table, and they started doing the pain-free... Oh, actually, most important part, before they put me down on the table, they handed me a cup and a Valium, which was something I was looking forward to since 4:30 this morning Turkish time, when I woke up with a crippling panic attack over the fact that I'm in Turkey getting a hair transplant. You know, as you do. So I Lutfened the Valium right away, and then I laid down on the table. That's when they went ahead and they started, they made me change my mask to a disposable one. But laid me down on the table, and they were going to start the pain-free anesthetic. So I've heard various conversations about this, the pain-free, whether or not it is pain-free or needleless. I heard someone else say that it felt like there was a needle in there, and I actually agree with that. It did feel like there was a small, sharp needle in there. They say it feels like a rubber band, but to me it felt like a needle. So they did that all around my head, and actually it wasn't all that bad. It didn't really hurt all that much. It was a little poke, but I guess I must have a fairly decent pain tolerance. And they did that all the way around the back of my head, everywhere, up and down and around. So after they did that, they did a bit of a head massage to let the anesthetic work its magic, or the pre-anesthetic really, because directly after the pain-free needleless anesthetic, they went ahead and did the actual needle part of it. So they went ahead and they did, it had to be 30 needles in the back of my head all over. Fortunately, I didn't really feel much of it. There was still pain, but it wasn't awful. So I do think actually the pain-free option was good. Because I went with a friend, they gave me 5% off, or I don't know, maybe it was just because of COVID times, they're a little bit lower in volume. And they included the pain-free option as part of my package. So I actually had that as well for free. So started doing the needles, and pretty quickly after the needles, of course, they swabbed my head down with iodine or whatever hospitals use, but pretty quickly after that, they started the extraction process. And, they did ask me if there's any pain along the way. I'm pretty sure they were just poking me with a needle around, and if there was pain, they would inject more. After they injected that, I think it was about 2 minutes of that, they had to have filled me up with some sort of saline solution or something to make the skin stretch a bit. After that, they began the extractions. I was turned to my side, and they basically took a rotorized tool, or motorized tool? Rotary tool? I'm not techie. Or electric-y? Carpentry? It was a nail file. I'm a nail tech. It was an E-file, basically, with a punch bit. And they started doing little punches all over my head. At least 2,000 of them, 2,900 of them. So I won't be able to see the donor area until tomorrow. I don't know if I can. So in hair talk speak, the donor area is the area back here. What does that mean? Women who are watching or anyone who's interested. You know how men get the horseshoe, or I call it the monk head, where they're bald up top and then they have hair that always grows around the sides? Well, that's viable hair. It doesn't stop growing. The stuff on the top stops, but the stuff on the sides tends to grow. So they take the hair from there and plop it up front. So they started doing that, and it's a drilling sound. It's the weirdest sensation to have someone poking holes into your head, and I'm starting to think, am I getting lobotomized? What's happening? Who knows what they're doing to me, but I've done enough research on the process in the clinic to know I'm okay, it's fine. The Valium was beginning to kick in. I was really okay then. So they did that, and I think it probably took an hour and a half, if not 2 hours, of them drilling the holes. Meanwhile, there's another tech who's basically picking the hair out of the follicle, and they place it in a petri dish, and then they separate them based on 1 hair, 2 hair, 3 hairs. Each hair follicle grows in sets of 1, 2, 3, and sometimes 4 hairs that grow out of that particular follicle. So they sort them, and they try and put the ones up front so you don't look crazy. Obviously, that's not always the case with people, but sometimes they do definitely try. They were sorting them as they could. So those were put in little petri dishes with some special solution to keep them viable throughout the procedure. After that was done, I was rolled on my left side, right side. They did turn me over, and that is when Dr. Sinek came in, and they did more anesthetic up top. You'll see these little dots right there. That's the pain-free needleless option. It does this little poke of anesthetic in there, and then they injected me. I did not get a massage on that one, though. I was a little bummed. And they injected pretty quickly. So I did feel a bit more pain up there in the recipient area. So donor area, recipient area is up top. After that, the doctor came in and he started working on placing for lack of a better word, holes. I had a sapphire option, so it's a smaller, different shaped blade. They can do a metal blade, they can do a sapphire blade, and they basically do enough holes to fill in your hairline. So each one of those is a hole up there. After that was done, I was pre-bandaged and given a lunch. It was, I think they must have known I was American, so I got like chicken tenders, which is right up my alley as an American, and rice, and they had a roll, but it didn't look. It was in a bag. They didn't have butter. And a salad, which was okay. So I ate a lunch, I had a juice box. Along with that, they're trying to keep your energy levels up. After the lunch and the juice box, I sat back down pretty quickly, had a bathroom break, and they started the implant process, which I think I fell asleep through because it seemed to go really quick. Basically, one by one, they put the hairs in the holes. 1 hair at a time. 2,950 of them or something like that. So, yeah. After that, I was told my operation was done. I was given another juice box. They removed the cannula. They did run some antibiotics or some sort of drip during the doctor's portion of things. But yeah, told I was done. Got dressed. Was taken into a different room where they explained the contents of this Don't Mind My Messy. But there's a bag over here that has my neck pillow and pills for the next 10 days. A fancy shiny new hat. You'll also see that I did one up and I listened to the European men who have this done, and I ordered from Amazon UK a Snuggle. It is a head wrap thing, travel pillow, but that is supposedly very, very good for this type of procedure. So the only other things to really know is for the next several nights, probably up to 10, next 3, for sure, I'm going to have to sleep pretty much sitting up so that I don't have swelling or bleeding. You'll see that I am slightly swollen, which means my hairline will come down after I'm done swelling. Once the body sort of heals, the hairline will lower a bit. But other than that, that is my day one hair transplant at Cynic Clinic in Istanbul. Tomorrow at 9 a.m. I go back for my very first hair wash. Sounds exciting. And they'll do another consultation with me just to go over how I'm to wash my hair at home. It is a bit of a specialized process, so I'll talk about that in another video. But for now, güle güle. Have a great day. Bye.